Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Muggle Yarns podcast. We're very, very far away today, but we're in the same room.
Yes, I'm in Miami, so we are recording in real life, which is super exciting.
Yes, we are.
This is the first time, we've known each other for 3 years. It's the first time that we've actually met in real life.
And I can actually look at her and not look at her on the screen.
I know.
It's very cool. But anyway, Becca, RBF42, Ravelry, Instagram.
And I'm Kate, Miss Anthropinets, on Ravelry and Instagram. And we're on MuggleYarns.com. You can find links to all of our social media sites. We're Muggle Yarns on Facebook. We have a Muggle Yarns group on
Instagram,
Ravelry.
Pinterest, Ravelry.
Twitter, which we don't really do. Yeah.
I think that's it. That's it. So, the red tape.
Yes.
We have a contest going. It's not really a contest, is it? It's more of a
It's a giveaway.
giveaway.
It's a giveaway.
Yeah, we like giveaway.
It's running currently. It's
We're running it until the end of February?
correct.
So, until the end of February, and it's just a little Harry Potter, pick your birthday, pick your birth month, birthday, and favorite color, and just post your answer, and you can do it on Ravelry, or Facebook, or Instagram, or wherever else you feel like posting it. We'll check.
And you can enter on all of them. You can double enter and for more chances to win. And it's for a skein of Lorna Lace's Soulmate in the colorway Winter is Coming.
And oh look, there it is on the screen right now. Funny how that works. But it's only for one, so
It's only one winner this time.
Unlike the pattern, we can't all be winners. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes it more special.
We're all winners, just not for the skein of yarn.
Hey, look at, we're both knitting today.
I know, because mine is all stockinette. Look how much I've done. You've like nothing.
Well,
But
the
it
original cast on looks really good.
Yeah.
Look at that, you can pick those up real easily.
Yeah, it was kind of a pain in the butt, but I figured it out.
But it's gonna be awesome when you're done.
Hooray, YouTube!
Yes. Everybody always asks, how'd you learn?
Tingly.
How'd you learn how to knit? Combination of About, back in the day when About was a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and YouTube.
Don't expect us to follow our normal schedule today, because that ain't happening.
We're just kind of chit-chatting, guys.
Because we're in the same room. And guess what? Next week, same room again.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Miami again. They're just moving, this never happens. They never have the same team on 2 projects in a row. And it just magically happened, the 4 of us are going to another property in Miami next week.
But she's going home first, because she needs to get more yarn.
I do. I actually still have 2 projects worth of yarn that I haven't started yet because this week has been insanity. And not just because of work. I've also had time off, free time, but we go out almost every night. So that kind of eats into my knitting time a little bit. But I still, I've had the same 4 skeins of yarn for 2 projects for a month and a half now, and I need new yarn to look at. So. Oh, and I also want to see my husband.
That little...
Secondary.
Yeah. We love you, Patrick.
Yeah, he doesn't watch this.
Neither does Steve. In the car, he's like, how many podcasts do you watch? I'm like, I don't even watch all of ours, but I watched, 5 of ours. We have 8. He goes, I've watched 0 of yours.
You know what? My husband does a podcast, just a audio one, not a video one.
A vidcast.
But he does one about German soccer with a friend of his, or a friend of ours, who was in our wedding. Yeah, I don't watch that. I have some interest in German soccer, but not enough to listen to a podcast about it. So I don't really expect him to listen to a podcast about knitting. He gets enough of that when I'm around. He doesn't need to watch it. I've been really bad about watching the podcasts that I like to watch because I don't have time.
I keep getting notification in my email that they're there, but
I haven't watched Stockinette Zombies in forever, and the Knit Girls, I love the Knit Girls, and I am months behind.
Yeah, they just posted, I think I just got an email that they just posted something also. There's quite a few, anything that we have subscribed to on our...
On the Muggle Yarns YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, thanks for doing that, by the way.
Oh, subscribing to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you get emails for that?
We both do.
Oh, I thought it was from my YouTube account. I guess it's the Mungle Yarns YouTube account.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, well, I like that, but if it annoys you.
No, I'm saying, like, I would not remember which ones I was supposed to watch had it not been for that.
Yeah, there's some really good ones out there. Sorry, I'm getting my pattern on my phone right now. That's what happened. That's what's happening.
Mine is stockinette for 6 feet, and I am at 1 inch.
Hey, but it's a work in progress now.
I know.
It's not imaginating anymore.
I know.
All right, so we should actually probably talk about the stuff that we're doing.
So I have no finished objects because we'll just pretend that we're going to go in order. Because work for me is hell as well as Kate. I work 1.8 miles away from where Kate's been staying all week. And we were able to actually have dinner together last Friday.
When did I get in?
It was either Friday or Saturday.
Saturday, I think, yeah.
We had dinner on Lincoln Road, and it was really cool because, like she said, we've been friends for 3 years, and that was the first time that we met. And because Steve, my husband, randomly pops himself into our podcast, she actually, knew him as well. So that was really cool. I was freezing.
We were at the end of Lincoln Road, and it was like a wind tunnel because it's just a bunch of buildings all the way down for like 1.5 miles, and then at the end it's just open. So
On one side is ocean, and on the other side is the
wind
bay.
tunnel.
So it was pretty horrible.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was like nowhere else on Lincoln Road was it this cold as where we were sitting.
Yeah, but to people watch and just like watch all of the fun and interesting outfits going by.
Interesting is definitely a kind word for it.
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah.
More importantly, Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some, yeah. But
It's definitely a word for it.
the big, huge project that I've been working on at work for 3 months, maybe, is done. It's gone. It's at the Miami Herald, and there's nothing else we can do about it. Of course, we thought that it was the Miami Herald 3 days ago, and then they emailed us and was like, oh, half your book is too low. You need to submit all high resolution. And plus, this is 4-color, and this is supposed to be CMYK, and it's RGB. So,
oh, no.
yeah, I had a conference yesterday, an hour away, and with the girl that was the only person that could fix it. So we're trying
trying to change the color profile over is no fun.
No, it was not. But she had all of her high resolution stuff in her Dropbox, so she was able to update it and send the link to the person that's doing the journal. And I was able to convert everything else, and we got it done, and we got it submitted last night, and I have not heard any bad. He said so far everything looks good.
Oh, that's stressful.
And that was about an hour ago.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So that's ongoing.
Yes, but we actually turned it in like 5 days early, so we had plenty of time for this.
That's good.
So that was an absolute bonus. But that's done, and I've been working until like 7 o'clock every night. Getting home, thank goodness, more often than not, dinner has been ready, and yeah, no kids yet, so I don't have to worry about feeding them. But yeah, dinner's been ready, and all I want to do is fall asleep, but I just don't get enough sleep.
Yeah.
Which is why I slept until 3 o'clock in the afternoon today. It is Friday. I worked so much that I got the day off, and we were supposed to spend the day on the beach, and they come here and record, and
7 o'clock now.
yeah, at about 2 o'clock, we're still laying in bed, and he's like, this was the best beach day ever. We went to sleep at like 12, 1 o'clock, and woke up at 12, 1 o'clock, kept falling back asleep, brought the dog in the bed, like, she was snuggling and cuddling with us, so.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So it was,
argue with that.
because tomorrow I have to wake up early for an adoption thing, so.
Exciting?
Sort of. It's an advocacy group that we're starting, like, legislature and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Where's the thingy on my tablet?
So you've not finished anything.
No, that was the moral of this whole story. I've not finished anything because I'm busy.
I've also not finished anything because I haven't. When I have spare time, I haven't been knitting. I was just having a lot of fun with there were a couple of guys from the training class that I was in were on this project with me, and so we've just been going out like every night. And
you're so close to Lincoln Road that
yeah.
you have an unlimited amount of restaurants and bars and 3 Starbucks all within a 4-block radius. So.
And we went to Espanola Way the other night. That was fun.
Yeah, we drove past it because we came up.
Yeah, it's like this road
Up
that's just
Collins.
completely blocked off, so it's all foot traffic and a bunch of restaurants, and it was really cool. We went to a Brazilian place that was not very good.
Oh, really?
But it was fun to walk around. Well, we were going to go to a Cuban place, but it was like an hour wait, and we were still working. We were supposed to just leave for dinner and then come back, so we didn't have time to wait.
There's this amazing Cuban place, but it's on 41st Street, and it's kind of far from you.
Yeah.
I don't think they would deliver this far down.
It's kind of far. We did go to a Cuban place for dinner last night that's much closer. It's like 2 blocks away, right before the Lincoln Road Mall, but still on Lincoln Road, and it was really good. I had paella, and it was delicious. And I'm a huge fan of paella.
Steve, for some reason, thinks that I'm going to make paella one day. I'm born in Miami. I'm raised in Miami. My family has never made paella. I don't know what makes him think that I'm going to do it. Paella is basically yellow rice with
It's delicious.
like seafood.
Yeah.
It's like not spinach, shrimp, scallops, like
Mussels.
fish, mussels. What else do they put in yours? Clams
Clams, yep.
and vegetables. Whatever kind of vegetables they
With
feel like
peppers,
doing.
onions.
Yeah.
I think that's all that mine had. It was really good though.
But it's made.
Like the saffron rice. Oh, so good.
Well, they sell that in the stores.
Like paella? Or just
Like
the
they
saffron
sell
rice?
the rice.
Yeah.
But it's usually made in these like massive, like 4-5 feet, like
Like a wok, basically,
Yeah.
but giant.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 feet across. It's amazing, but they have like paella parties and
My paella last night was delicious. Yeah. I almost got churrasco, because,
that's what I had.
yeah, I almost got that, but then I saw that they had paella, and I was like, that's what I want. I changed my mind halfway through.
You're allowed to do that.
But, where are we? UFOs.
UFOs.
Well, I'm working on my socks
UFO.
still. My DNA socks. I am increasing for the gusset, so I'm almost to the heel. And then we'll see how long I feel like making them past the heel. We'll see.
But they're for your dad, right? No.
My father-in-law, yeah.
So they can't be like little ankle socks.
No. No, I mean, I'll make them, like, long, or I'll make them, like, long. But, I don't know.
We still have a good decent amount of yarn left.
Yeah. But isn't that cool looking? My little DNA thing?
I love that. What pattern is it?
I'm using David's Toe Up Sock Cookbook because I'm obsessed with making socks that way. But I'm using just the pattern from this Denature pattern. So I just took the cable pattern from this. It's a paid pattern. But it's top down, and I didn't want to make top down socks, so I'm just using the cable from the pattern to make my own toe up socks. But don't they look really big? I feel like they're too big.
But they're for a guy.
Yeah, but they still look like they're too big to me.
What size shoe does he wear?
10.5? I mean, I measured it.
But they're not narrow, right?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's also flat.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, they do look kind of big, but
I measured it, and they're 4.5 inches across, which is 9 inches around, and with stretch, like that should be right.
How big is that's his? how big
It's supposed
his
to be
foot
like
is?
10.25 for his size shoe. So I feel like.
But are his feet narrow?
Not really. I don't know. I'm just being paranoid about it. If they're too big, I guess they'll be slippers. I don't know. They just look really big. Apparently, I make socks too big. Because I did the same thing with my sister's socks. But I blame the hand spun yarn for that.
Yeah, that's kind of a hit or miss.
Yeah. But feel the yarn, it's going to be nice and sturdy for socks.
Oh yeah, that's really dense.
Yeah, it's BFL.
So I finally did that dancing docks.
Oh yes, I got that email today. Becca has backed a new knitting project on Kickstarter.
Kate, you enabler.
I did, yeah. Did you do the club?
No, I did the semi-solid DK.
Okay.
I went on I found her Ravelry page,
Mhm.
and I looked at all the yarn, and it was weird because her DK yarn had like, I look at projects and stash, and her projects on that yarn alone was like over 200, and every other yarn was like under 40.
Huh.
That's really interesting because
Maybe that's the only base she carried for a while.
it's possible, but I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's unusual that a DK would be the most commonly used.
Right.
I feel like fingering weights usually are the most commonly
Yeah,
used.
and it was like 280 yards of DK.
That's actually really good
solid
for DK.
or semi-solid.
Yeah.
And I went and I looked. I had made
That's almost sport. For yardage per 100 grams. Alright.
well, her fingering weight is for 4 ounces was 560 yards.
Yeah, that's definitely light fingering.
Yeah.
Because like 490 is light fingering. That's like the base that I'm used to seeing for 100 grams. So over 500 is a lot.
Which
That's
reminds
awesome.
me, I am going to have to actually buy my little spinner thing, drop spindle, because our yarns, did you see that email from where we got the
Did
fiber?
Did you get a shipping email from her?
No, but she said that she was going to start shipping them the first or second week in February.
Well, that's
The one that I bought the fiber?
And the bag. Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome.
I did not get a bag. I just got fiber, but I need a drop spindle. So I really need to do that.
I bought a, from Heavenly Hand Spinning, I believe it's the, shoot, I can't remember what their mini spinner is called. They all have little cutesy names. But it's their e-spinner, and it's like this big. So I bought one used, so I can bring it with me on the road.
And you're going to go pick that up at home
I am going to pick that up on home.
tomorrow.
It came the day that I left, later in the afternoon. So I almost had it with me this whole time. Oh, still sad. So sad. It's a big deal, man. Being able to spin. If I had that with me, I would have been spending a lot more with my free time than because knitting takes more concentration, at least knitting on this.
But do you have fiber with you, or?
No, but I would have packed it if I had my spinner.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick some up on home. And I'm gonna have to reconfigure my whole packing situation thing because right now I'm like maxed out on clothes and I have no room for anything else. So I'm gonna have to come up with a new configuration.
But how did you bring? I'm looking at all of her clothes.
Yeah.
But how did you bring all of the yarn with you?
I had 2 project bags that carry multiple skeins. So like this, I can fit 4 in here and 6 in that other one over there, and the one with the bees on it, the blue one.
Oh, okay. And in your backpack, you carry,
My purse.
like, could you cram stuff in there?
This one goes in my backpack for plain knitting, and that one goes in my luggage.
Well, how much more yarn would you be bringing versus spinning stuff?
I bought little like compression bags that can squeeze
Oh,
the air
those
out of
things are
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah. So, well, that's what most of my clothes are in. But I bought, instead of the plastic ones, I bought like cloth ones where you just pack it in and then you zip it and it pushes all the air out, which will really help with fiber because fiber has so much air in it. So I can probably get a lot in one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And then like some socks. It's gonna
I
be a
have
day.
faith
It's gonna be a
that
task. Like,
you'll.
I'm gonna have to take a couple hours to like figure this out. But I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'll get home around 4 in the afternoon tomorrow. And then I have all day Sunday, and then I don't have to fly out again until 5 Monday. So I've got some time at home. Like combined about a day. A little less. Or about 2 days.
2 days.
A little less. Because I'm going to have to leave a little earlier to get to the airport in time.
And then you're here
I'll get back here about...
another week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get back on Monday, and I'll be here, I think, until Sunday.
Okay.
So, about a week.
More time for another podcast.
Yeah, we can do another episode. Assuming I get this one edited in time.
Oh, and because we are actually doing this on... What day is today? Friday.
Yeah.
January 30th. Happy birthday, Amy!
Happy birthday, Amy! I forgot today was her birthday.
You already posted it on her Facebook.
I did.
Oh, look. It's my mother
Oh, hi, Mom.
calling to harass me again.
Oh, that's okay. We don't need to deal with
So happy birthday, Amy!
it. Yay!
One of our
Another
3,
Team
4,
TARDIS.
5 people, however many there were at the beginning. I was supposed to, the next time I was going to visit my mother-in-law in West Virginia, or friends in the Columbus, Cleveland part of Ohio, which I don't have any idea how far they are. She lives up there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were going to try and get together, but I never went and visited. I didn't forget about you. I just never went and visited. That shit's expensive.
Traveling is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm glad I don't have to pay for it.
So speaking of traveling, we got invited to a wedding the
Mhm.
week before MegaCon in Fairfax.
Oh my gosh.
I handed Steve the invitation. He's like, I know, I saw it when I got the mail. I'm like, no, it's the week before MegaCon.
Yeah.
We can't afford it.
No.
He was spending so much money on MegaCon. Like, but that's where Kate lives.
But I won't even be there. You can be Patrick.
It's true. They live in Fairfax, and I was like, oh, that's really bizarre.
We got invited to a wedding in September in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm looking at you, Mia. I don't know if we're actually going to go in September, but we are planning to go
That is awesome.
eventually, maybe November or December, because what's better in the dead of winter than going to Sweden, honestly. I mean, go big or go home. You want winter, you get winter. Yeah. So we might be going to Sweden.
My a friend of mine went to Iceland in November, November, December for their honeymoon. They're like, we want to basically go big or go home.
Pretty much.
And she was just posting all these pictures. I'm like, are you in Alaska? Or are you in Alaska? Like, I don't know where you are.
But
Yeah.
a friend of ours, I guess since college, she's Russian, but she now has Swedish citizenship, and her fiance is Swedish, and they're getting married there. They live in Stockholm, so I don't know if we're going to make it in time for the wedding, but we're definitely going to go and visit them. And then we have friends in Hamburg, so actually the one that my husband does his podcast with.
Oh, cool. So they can record in person?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they came in, our friend who was in our wedding came with his girlfriend in August for our wedding. So they Patrick and Bjorn recorded in person then.
Bjorn.
Yes, my German friend has a Swedish name.
Bjorn. Baby Bjorn.
Yeah. Bjorn and Susie. What?
Very Swedish, very American.
Yeah. Well, it's Suzanne. Susan.
Susan?
Right, Suzanne.
Interesting. My mom's middle name is Susan.
But we call her Susie. Anyway, we're gonna go do Europe and go to Stockholm and Hamburg, apparently.
Very cool. My dream is England and Scotland and Ireland and just,
Yeah.
the whole UK. And
Definitely.
I will get to
There are
meet,
so many people over
I
there.
was just going to say, I will get to meet, so many people that we met on Ravelry
Yeah.
because they all live over there.
Yeah.
And I'm super jealous that they all live over there.
And I want to do France, obviously, eventually, because I actually speak French. But probably isn't going to happen in this trip.
So Steve bought, he's addicted to Rosetta Stone.
Mm-hmm.
He has like 5 different languages.
Wow.
But one of the ones that he bought was French. And I said, so if I learn French, can my trip be Paris?
Yeah.
Or my like reward for learning be Paris? He's like, sure, because he knows I never followed through with anything.
Mais oui, bien sûr. C'est ton peu.
I have not even opened it yet, and he's had it for like 4 months.
I use Duolingo
Well,
because it's free.
he always buys them when they're like $150 for like the package.
Mm-hmm.
His first one, not so much. The first one was like $500.
It's expensive. Rosetta Stone is so expensive.
Yeah,
But if you do it, it's worth it.
but they've now teamed up with some website
Mm-hmm.
that I can't remember. And they were like a free website, but you had to pay for like certain things. But they teamed up with Rosetta Stone, and so now they keep offering all their stuff for like under $200.
Nice.
So a $500-$600 Rosetta Stone is like super cheap now. Super cheap.
Yeah, well, for what it is. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, like if you were going to take courses
Mm-hmm.
in that language and you pay what, like $300 for a credit? For a course?
Right.
Like it's a pretty good deal because you're going to have to take several years of courses to get the fluency out of it that you get out of Rosetta Stone.
Right. And he originally bought the Spanish one when we were still living in North Carolina because he figured, oh, we're moving to Miami. I'm going to need to get a job. I should probably speak Spanish.
Be helpful.
He can't. Like, he I don't know. He has the same block that I do. I took 9 years of Spanish. I don't speak it. But that's a whole nother story. We're not going to get political on this podcast.
Welcome to Miami. Yeah, it's everywhere. Although it's funny, this morning when I was sitting in our little lounge downstairs, like doing our live support stuff, the guys sitting at the table next to me were speaking French. It's like, all right, I actually know what you're saying.
Well, you're in a unique part of Miami.
Yeah, I am. I'm in like
because
tourist area.
This is where all the tourists are. Like our friend that we were telling you at dinner, she's German and
Yeah.
she came here, but she goes all over the country, like or all over the globe. Like every vacation she gets, she goes to another country. And when she came here, like she was here with a friend of hers who's also German, and so Steve and her were talking in German at dinner, and I'm like, great, thanks. I'm in Miami. It's bad enough that I can't understand what half the people here speak,
Yeah.
and they're speaking in German. He also has German, by the way.
Yeah.
And Japanese.
How's that going?
They're still wrapped in the shrink wrap, and they're on the shelf.
You can sell that on eBay.
Yeah, probably.
Probably wouldn't notice. I'm sorry, were we talking about knitting?
Knitting, right.
I'm working on socks. What are you working on?
I'm working on a scarf that's supposed to be 6-7 feet. It's a couple of rows bigger than it was when I started.
Hey.
Tonight.
Man, you can do that in your sleep.
I know. That's the good thing is that it's 6 feet of stockinette.
Yeah, that's a good thing about it.
I actually don't mind stockinette because I don't use circulars. Like I've been doing a lot of hats and mitts.
Right.
And I actually prefer DPNs, but that's 120 stitches in, what did I buy? Worsted? Sport something thick?
This is thick.
You're not getting, the ball band is actually in there somewhere. You're not getting 120 stitches, Bernat, satin, something.
Aran weight?
4. Yeah.
I don't use those CYAC guides. I use Ravelry. Whatever Ravelry says.
Yes, and Ravelry says that it's Aran. Therefore, that's what it is.
I'm sorry, Craft Yarn Arts Council. I know you put a lot of thought into the weights of your yarn for,
But they don't mean anything.
You've completely left out lace weight, and so you just added 0 at the end.
Now they have 0, I think.
For cobweb, or I don't know. Whatever. Ravelry did it first, and that's where my learn happened. So that's what I used.
That's where her learn happened.
True story. It's the truth.
It's the truth, yo.
I like to make up my own syntax.
That's okay. I was at home the other night, and he was asking me something, and I felt like Yoda. I can't remember what it was, but I was like 3 words, and they were in completely like backwards order, and I'm like, tired, can't function.
I get that way
exhausted.
every day. At the end of the day, I'm like, and the thing and the words are hard.
Hard. Brain can't function.
I have drank
Sure.
so much coffee today. So much coffee. Like, they kept coming by with a new pot of French press for me, like, every hour. I was like, all right, thanks.
Oh my gosh.
And then they just brought us a carafe for us, like the kind that you push down is like this big.
That's a lot of coffee. I make 12 cups every night before I go to bed, and it starts in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And the first couple of days, it scared the hell out of me because I was like, "What does that smell?"
It's the coffee.
Completely foreign, because up until then I was using a Keurig.
Oh.
So now it's like my lifeline, and I was running so far behind a couple days ago. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post. It's like, I'm such a bitch. I was running so far behind, I couldn't get out of the house on time. So Steve pours me a cup of coffee, and he like puts creamer in it and whatever, and it was very nice of him, but it was like only 16 ounces. And I was like, thanks, and I grabbed my 20-ounce one, I jumped into it, then I added 4 more ounces.
Oh, he was trying to be helpful.
He's like, I guess I'll use that cup. I'm like, I'm sorry, I really need a lot of coffee.
Clearly I haven't had any yet because I'm still a bitch. Sorry.
It was like, oh my god.
Are we going to have to change our rating on iTunes now? Because we've been cursing a lot the last couple of weeks.
I don't know. What is the rating? Can we change it to like PG-13?
I don't know.
Well, it's not like we have.
I don't think we have a lot of like young people watching. I would be very, very surprised if we had a lot of young people watching.
We haven't been posting it on iTunes.
Oh, that's because I haven't had a good enough
to upload.
Yeah, I haven't had a good enough internet connection to upload it to the FTP. Like it times out every time. Yeah, I'm sorry for anybody who likes to watch on iTunes.
Who will probably never see this.
I mean, I guess I could give you a thumb drive with it on it if you want it.
Oh yeah, that could work.
Since we're here, I've got all of them on my computer.
And I could return you your thumb drive next week.
Yeah.
Although we could put it into a Dropbox, although that would probably have the same timeout issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have as much issue syncing that, though. Because it keeps trying. The FTP times out.
Oh, that's true. We'll figure it out.
Hey guys, welcome to the Inside Baseball.
So how about the Mets?
It's just a generic term for technical shit. See, I'm sorry, the filter is gone.
It's because we're in the same room.
Sorry.
And meanwhile, my poor husband, so she's at the Ritz-Carlton this week on South Beach. Ooh la la. And
check out my Facebook for some pretty pictures.
Yes, beautiful.
I took some sunrise pictures the other day. They were gorgeous.
And he's like downstairs, sitting in the lobby playing on his laptop. Because there were the potential of girl things in Kate's room, which is where we're filming.
Basically, I'm a slob. You can't see this week to week when I'm recording with Becca because I usually try to face a wall that has nothing incriminating. But if you could see my room right now, it's a mess.
There's 2 beds in here and lots of alcohol that she can't touch.
Yeah.
The alcohol, the beds, she's messed up.
It's really funny. The bookshelves in here they have actually that advertising
really
from the
cool
Mad Men era book. I think that was really interesting. Like I should probably pop that open and read it before I leave tomorrow. But they have their mini bar set up on the bookshelves, and it's just like bottles this big.
4 bottles of alcohol, 6 little containers of like candy and.
I had some of those orange
Nuts.
candies the other day.
I love those things. Orange slices.
Yeah, well, no, they're like I think papaya or something.
But they're like gummy.
Yeah, and they had them down at the beach bar where we were installing stuff, and they had some
Installing stuff.
Yeah, the reason we're here, and the manager was like, "Here, you guys, we're gonna throw these out. Do you want them?" And so I had some, and oh my god, they're so good, and I've been staring at them for the last 3 days, wanting one so bad, but they're like $15 for this tiny little jar of candy. It's not worth it.
You're at the Ritz-Carlton, and you're on South Beach.
I know.
It's like double whammy.
But it's not worth it. But they're so good.
No, but I wonder if they have them at like Walgreens that's across the street.
Right across the street. I actually went to that Walgreens and bought some oatmeal and some granola bars. They didn't have a very good selection. I really wanted...
So you do have a microwave?
No, I just use my coffee maker for hot water.
Oh, look at you being clever.
Yeah, then my little cup that my oatmeal is in over there.
They're gonna come and clean it out.
They're like, what the hell? I also don't get maid service when I stay at these places because, again, slob, and I don't want to have to like neatly pile my shit again.
And there was like 500 cords just sitting on this couch.
I basically dumped my backpack out.
I wouldn't want. Whenever we go anywhere, we always put the do not disturb on. Even when we go to MegaCon, like. We just don't want you coming in our room. We bring computers and stuff with us.
Well, I know that it looks like chaos in here, but I know exactly where everything is, and I can't have anybody in here messing with that because I don't have enough time in the morning to go searching for stuff. I have to know exactly where I left it.
That's why our house is such a mess.
Yeah.
We don't know where anything is, but our house is still a mess.
Well, my husband is that way. He just leave stuff, like he'll use it and then leave it somewhere, and then he asks me where it is. Honey, wherever you put it, I don't know. But I have disorganized chaos, or organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
Yeah. I know exactly where everything is right now.
These look like awfully phenomenal cushy beds, too.
Oh my god, it's so comfortable.
Like, looking at this, like...
really don't want to get up in the morning.
Like,
it's got...
feather bed?
It's a pillow top mattress with another pillow top on top.
It's like down.
It's incredibly comfortable. Of course, they don't have fitted sheets big enough for how big this bed is. So
I see that.
It's just kind of sitting there. Sometimes it comes off. I guess that would be one of the benefits of having someone come in and make my bed every day. But I'm not a princess.
You just sleep in a bed that's fit for a princess.
I could sleep in the same sheets every day.
We were talking about yarn, right?
What is that? What are you imagining?
I think nothing. My imagining is getting everything finished.
So here's one of the things that I have yarn for still. This cowl.
Oh, those are beautiful.
They're both Nurgle yarns. I'll put a picture so you can actually see them because y'all can't see what we're seeing right now.
Beautiful.
But yeah, this is 67, inspired by Supernatural, the Impala. And this is one of the random fandoms that I don't actually know what it's from, but it's green, which is my favorite color. It's just your heart withering away. It's actually now a dyed on demand color, so you can get this color now. But it's a really pretty like green and gray, and I think these colors will go really well together in some kind of slip stitch pattern. Cowl for my mother-in-law. My poor in-laws who have yet to receive their Christmas presents.
Oh, that's my friend's little baby. She weighs 7.5 pounds.
Oh my god.
It's like this big.
Oh.
I get to see her tomorrow.
Yay. So you're not imagining anything. I'm imagining that cowl.
I'm imagining that I'm going to actually finish the knitting that I have to do, including your mitts.
Really no rush on this. I've been in Florida for 3 weeks. I'm clearly not using mitts right now.
I used mine last week.
Okay, well I live in...
You live in a hotel at the moment.
Uh-oh. Look what I did.
Wah, wah. We need Steve's sound effects.
I need to take back that whole
Oh
row.
no.
I'm doing 2 at a time socks, and I didn't switch my yarn that I was using for this entire round, so now I gotta tink all the way back.
This is what happens when we get together.
And apparently, get distracted. What's next? Stash enhancement. Well,
Ooh.
I'm looking forward to going home and enhancing my stash, because right now my stash consists of 4 skeins of yarn. This is what happens. I get separated from my stash, and then I buy way too much yarn.
I saw something on Facebook earlier, and it was a picture of black and gray and white yarn, and it was just like a bunch of balls of yarn, and it said, "The only 50 shades of gray that I want are in my stash."
I probably have 50 shades of gray in my stash.
That was really, really funny.
Would not be surprised if I could count 50 shades. Yeah. 50 shades of any color, really, because I definitely have more than 50 shades of every color in my stash. I'm a hoarder, guys.
I've been like on this orange kick lately.
Orange, you live in Miami.
No, but I mean orange is actually like orange, blue, and green are like my 3 favorite colors. And I just every time that I get orange like a Kickstarter, I order the orange. Like for the black to a color one, fibers.
Oh, yeah.
I did the copper. It was copper black.
I think I did the teal one.
Because I looked at all the pictures
Or
of
maybe purple. I can't remember which one I did.
of projects of that she had done in those colors. And I was
Well,
like,
that's a
I
very
really
high
like that
contrast one. Yeah. I think the one I picked was not as high contrast. I can't remember if it was purple or blue, green,
Yeah.
teal, something. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out when I get it.
I don't know when those are supposed to come in. April, I think. The fiber is coming in February from Twisted
Fiber Studios.
Yes.
Yes.
She has a podcast.
Really? Okay.
No, I was just watching her.
I'm cabling without a cable needle, and that requires me to actually remove stitches from my needles. There it is. Okay, we're okay. We're good.
I can barely cable with a cable needle, let alone without a cable needle.
Yeah. I'm actually unknitting at the moment, which is probably about the most depressing thing that you can do. Same motion, just...
If it was me, and I would be completely impatient, I would just cut the yarn.
Cutting anything and knitting makes me really nervous. I've never stitched
No, I'm
anything.
saying like I would cut the yarn and then just pick it up again.
No, that would make me really sad.
Well, you have more patience than I.
I don't know. I like to throw things when I get impatient.
But you're tinking back an entire row of 2 socks.
No, just one.
An entire row of one
Just one sock.
9-inch sock.
I know. It's a big sock, as we have mentioned. No stash enhancement. No stash enhancement.
No stash enhancement.
I do like this blue, though. This is a really good blue. It's like, blue!
It's extremely blue. It's just called
Blue! I don't know why I said that so loudly.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's called Loyal Royal.
Oh, okay.
But it's just burnout satin. 100% acrylic. But the
It
pattern,
won't pill.
no, and he can wash it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was commissioned by a friend of a friend, and
The friend who didn't have time to knit it.
right.
Yeah.
She knew that I knit. She crochets. And,
Oh, I see.
and she's actually like so sick of knitting that she's getting rid of all of her needles and all of her stash and all of her everything. I know. I'm like, I will take any DPNs that you have.
Yeah, or yarn.
No, she's still crocheting.
Oh, okay.
She's not that crazy.
Jeez.
But she doesn't knit anymore, and
I don't understand that.
I met her again on Ravelry in the Hogwarts. I can't remember
The swap one?
I can't remember which group it was, but it was one of the swaps, and then she actually started Hogwarts Little Bit of Everything swap,
Oh, okay.
and So that was like a spin-off, and now they're kind of doing different different swaps still. Like they don't really do anything now, but the group is still pretty active, and so I met her from in there, and this was one of her coworkers, and she's like, look, this is what I want to make for a friend of mine. It's not for a con, it's not for, whatever, it's his birthday. And I guess he's really into Zelda. Legends of Zelda.
I mean, it's going to be a cool scarf when
Yeah.
it's done, but I don't know if I would have ever signed on for that much stockinette.
Stockinette doesn't bother me, because I can actually do this mindless knitting.
Yeah. I mean, I did an all stockinette sweater, and I was just amazed at how quickly it went.
It's also a bigger yarn.
Yeah.
Like the sweater that I made, attempted to make a couple years ago, for Nerd Wars. It was worsted.
Tie that in, girl.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened here. It was worsted and what's the word I'm looking for? Big yarn, like big needles. Like it was really big needles, and it went really, really quick. But then I just never followed through with it.
Once that dissertation period ends and you didn't finish it in time, it's like, I don't ever want to look at this project again. I'm done.
Yeah. Like, do you remember the Mini Mania? No. I have no idea. I was working on a scarf, and it was like 7 feet long.
Oh,
and it was...
Was it the linen stitch one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I found it the other day when I was looking for old knitting to pick up and finish, and it was like 1.5 inches. And it was one of those that you could finish at any point, and because, of course, dissertation was over, and I had planned on making it like 3 inches, I'm like, screw that, I'll just keep, if I ever feel like picking it back up again. Because it was like one of yellow, and then one of a random color, and then one of yellow, and one of a random color.
Yeah, linen stitch looks really cool with a bunch of just random stuff.
I mean, it was really neat looking, and it was like 1.5 inches thick, but...
So it's like halfway done.
Well, yeah, or I could just end it now and just have a 7 foot long, super skinny scarf.
Would be super skinny.
I do live in Miami after all. I don't really need the thick scarves.
That's funny.
What
are we watching? Is that what's up next?
Did you watch anything this week?
Well, I watched The Flash, because that was on Hulu. I did not watch Arrow, because it hadn't come on yet. So the first episode of The Flash, not the one that just aired.
No, I watched the first one, too.
Okay.
I watched the first Arrow and the first Flash.
I haven't watched the first Arrow yet. But the first Flash was pretty good.
Love him.
Yeah. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking story-wise, but...
Flash? No.
No. But
when you watch Arrow, like, Felicity broke my heart.
That girl. Ollie and Felicity. We all know it.
Felicity?
I don't know if you can do that.
Felliver?
I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know.
But we all know it. It's just I don't know.
But oi.
I heard some stuff with the Dinah Laurel Lance. That air conditioner is gonna blow me up before I leave, and I'm leaving tomorrow. It's gonna explode, and I'm gonna have a fire in my room. I'm saying this now so that if it happens,
we'll never see it because this video will never get published. What was the point?
Something about Laurel.
Laurel Lance?
Yeah.
She's an idiot.
Okay, can we just talk for a moment about how that actress was also Blonde Ruby in Supernatural, and I hated her then, and I kind of hate her now.
I hated her too.
And I kind of hate her now.
And she was the second one to quit, or to cancel her MegaCon appearance. Felicity never actually was supposed to come, but it was... Actually, Summer Glau is coming.
I love her.
I love her too. So it was Stephen Amell. He's already canceled his appearance. sorry if you ever watch this, but Diggle, I don't know your name.
I
He has not yet canceled. You're never gonna watch this. Who am I kidding?
I'm really bad with actors' names too. Like, unless you've been in like 4 things that I've watched, I probably don't know your name. And unless you've been in something that Joss Whedon did, I probably don't know.
Yeah, right? Laura Lance was supposed to come, and she has already canceled her appearance. And then there was a 4th one, but also Summer Glau. And I don't really, I know she's in Arrow now, but I don't consider her an Arrow. I consider
kind of
her
forgot that she was
Firefly.
in. Yeah, I kind of forgot that she was an Arrow.
Yeah.
She's like,
She's an evil.
yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't Manu Bennett, because he came a couple years ago. Who plays the guy who was in the one who kidnapped his mom and killed his mom from the island.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow? No, that was his daughter or something. Slade Wilson.
Oh.
He came a couple years ago.
What else was he in before?
I don't have any idea.
Okay. That's what IMDb is for, guys.
I Wikipedia stuff when I'm watching it, so I can click around, and it's funny because as I'm clicking through all of these shows, and somebody's actually already purple, their link is already purple, I'm like, oh, they must be in something else that we just recently watched. And then I have to figure out what it was.
That's so funny.
Like, apparently they made such an impression that I have to look them up again.
I've also been watching Friends a lot. I'm in the last season. It's almost over.
Do they already have their twins, triplets, whatever? Or that's the last season?
Monica and Chandler have triplets?
Yeah, it's not really a spoiler because the show's like 12 years
no,
old.
I'm not. I know they're like trying to adopt, but
Yeah, they end up adopting.
I knew that Phoebe had triplets.
For her brother or something?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think that they have twins. They end up adopting, they get matched with somebody, and it turns out she's pregnant with twins. So they're like,
Oh.
shit! And then they have twins.
Okay.
Sorry, iTunes rating.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen now, guys. I'm sorry. We're going to have to go ahead and say that we're inappropriate for young children. I'm okay with that because it means I don't have to think so hard about what I say. I have a potty mouth, and it's going to happen, and I have to close doors. When I'm on site and I'm like in a room programming, I have to close doors because if somebody were to walk by and hear me cursing at my computer, I would be in a lot of trouble. So at the end of the day, like, I've been programming all day today, and if I can't, the filter is gone. I can't do it.
Whoosh, gone.
Yeah, and we're actually, after Becca and I finish recording tonight, we're having a pizza and beer programming party, because we have so much left to do for this site.
Which is crazy because aren't you usually live for 3 days?
Yeah, we've already been live.
And there's still so much left to do?
Yeah, because they basically decided that they were
Relocate
going
our
to reformat the entire way that their liquor and beer is programmed, liquor, wine, and beer. It was at each individual outlet had its own list, and which is more time consuming. And by the way, I did that over Christmas break. That I put all of their liquor, wine, and beer in. Didn't know I was coming to the site. I just was randomly programming.
I remember when you said that.
Yeah, so I've already programmed all of this in once. Now I'm in charge of programming it all in again, a completely different way, which means their database is entirely screwed up, which, if you know me at all and how much I love Excel and how much I love things to be orderly and in lists, this is really, really, really messing me up. Like, I have actual anxiety when I get in there and things are out of order, and it just bothers me.
Because we already know what
it really bothers me a lot. So I'm in there and I'm like, well, can I just delete everything that's in there and start from scratch? No, because it's already being rung in and it's being reported somewhere, so I can't ever delete that item. So if they had told me this before we went live, I would have been able to fix it in no time. But now, because they are already live and some of this stuff has already been rung in, I can't do anything about how shitty it looks in there now. Like, it's just completely out of order. And every outlet has its own little range of beer, wine, and liquor.
Right.
So I've got like Bistro, red wines. Toledo, red wines. Pool, red wines. And they're all mixed together, and it just is driving me insane. So that's why we have to get beer and pizza and finish programming, because Kate's getting a little anxious. And you need to just calm me down a little bit. It's bad.
I don't know what we're doing. We're gonna do something for dinner. We'll probably walk down to Lincoln Road and grab something.
There's a lot of cool stuff down there. We went to this hookah bar over there. It was fun.
I know, but your text the next morning was really
Oh
funny.
my god. So they had these the only way they sell drinks at this place is in 26-ounce
Fish bowls.
fish bowls. Huge, like as big as my head. And it was a really good deal. It was like $25 for a 26-ounce drink.
That's how Steve judges how good of a deal steak is. $1 an ounce. She does alcohol.
Well, I mean, especially for South Beach, like that's a really good deal for a giant drink. But so we were there for like 3 hours. I only had one drink because holy shit, this thing is
26
huge.
ounces?
Yeah. But it took us like 3 hours.
I don't understand how somebody could have more than one of those.
People were around us, man. And then so when we were smoking hookah, and
That's why they have multiple drinks.
and I had eaten earlier in the night, so I didn't get any food there because I had already eaten. But so we go home. We get back at like 2, and we have to be up at 8, like working at 8, so up earlier. So my alarm's set for 6. 4 hours later, and it goes off, and I like literally cannot move. I tried to sit up, and I was sick. And then I tried to take a shower and was sick. And then I tried to walk downstairs, and we're supposed to be doing our property walkthrough. So,
Oh, God.
And this Ritz is huge and very spread out. So we're like walking everywhere, like trying to take notes. And it was so bad. It was so bad. And then we had to do training, and that requires you to stand in front of a group and like talk to them and like walk through stuff. I was puking all morning. It was awful.
Oh my god.
I was like, I'm never doing this again.
I hope your drink was like blue or some funny color so that
It
you
was
were
red.
like puking like blue.
No, but actually by the time I was puking, I drank so much water that all I was puking was water. So it wasn't like awful as bad as
I'm
it
so
could
looking
be.
forward to going and having dinner after.
I know. I'm so glad that you're all watching me like talk about how hungover I was. But that was like the worst day ever. And then I lost my little pencil pouch that had all my thumb drives in it. And I like literally could not remember what I had done all Monday besides throw up all over the place.
So basically you were having a really bad day.
I was awful. It was awful. And then they
What
all
day
went
was that?
Monday. And they all went to lunch, and I came up here and took a nap. I felt a lot better after that. But it was rough, man. Sometimes you make bad decisions when you're out on the road and you're stressed and you haven't had a day off in 4 weeks.
But you get to go see Patrick soon, so.
I do. I'm really excited. I was telling him all about it too, and he was laughing at me. He's like, "You are dumb." Yes, I am. You know what? You like literally haven't had a day off in 4 weeks.
I know.
So, you take it where you can get it. You just take your free fun time you can. And then you pay for it really bad.
26 ounces of alcohol.
Well, I mean, it wasn't all alcohol.
Jesus
it was
Christ,
it
that's
was
a
mixed with stuff.
Big.
But it was like 4 drinks worth. And that is way more drinks of liquor than I ever drink in one sitting. And I had a glass of wine before too. I never drink that much. I was feeling it. Like I can drink a bottle of wine in one night. I can do that and feel fine the next day. But liquor is a totally different story.
Liquor is a completely different story.
Yeah. I had a caipirinha. It was delicious. But not so much the next day.
Coming back up, it wasn't as good.
I didn't puke the liquor. I only puked water, but my stomach was like, nah. Could not keep anything down. I drank a lot of water, though.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
I was fine by the afternoon, but that whole morning was rough. It was rough. Anyway, enough about me and my bad decisions. What are you watching?
Arrow and Flash.
Yeah.
We've already discussed that.
Oh, you haven't watched anything else?
No, not really. I mean, I'm still listening to
Have you
Outlander.
been watching Agent Carter?
Oh yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes of that.
So good.
So Steve is like, I don't know that she can carry it, blah blah blah. He didn't watch it with me, so he's only seen the previews, and I'm like, and the opening scene is Captain America. This is not a spoiler. Is Captain America like going down in the plane?
Yeah.
Which we see later in the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god! And he goes, okay, what? I'm like, well, this is what just happened. I'm like, you've seen her before. She's been in the Captain America movie. He goes, oh, is she the one that he was supposed to have the date with? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. I don't know if I want to watch. I'm like, shut up.
She's amazing.
It's really,
She's
really good.
She's basically the reason why S.H.I.E.L.D. exists.
So, well, yeah. It reminds me of Alias.
Yes.
Where she's working for the agency.
Yeah.
The SSR.
Yeah.
She's working for the agency, but she's working against the agency.
Because they're dumb.
Right. And so she's always one step ahead of them in her undercover.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, this is totally what Jennifer Garner was doing.
Right. But it's, in that time period, and she's British, and she's totally badass.
Oh, God, she's amazing.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes, which I guess was the first
It premiered
night.
that way, yeah.
Right. I haven't watched the next, I think there's now 4 episodes?
Yeah, I've only seen up to the 3rd one, but it's very interesting. And I feel for her, man. Like, it's kind of doing that whole post-World War II, all the women were working.
And now all the men are coming back.
Right. And
I love Jarvis, though.
yes. It's a shame that they didn't get the same guy, though.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
But I was telling Steve, because we watched the second half of The Avengers today, when we were waiting for something else to come on, or last night. I was like, oh, in Agent Carter I met Jarvis. He's like, what? I'm like, the guy who the Jarvis system was modeled after. He's like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Howard Stark.
Because he was like his butler or something.
And it's a different Howard Stark, too. But
yeah.
That's okay.
Which they should have used the same guy from the movies.
Yeah. That would have been cool. The guy from Mad Men. Not Don Draper, the other guy.
I never watched Mad Men.
Oh.
We watched like 3 episodes, not even, and we couldn't get into it.
Oh, I freaking love that show. Although it gets really depressing, and I kind of stopped watching it in like season 6, I think.
So the guy from the Avengers that plays Howard Stark, from Iron Man that plays Howard Stark, was in Mad Men?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. He was also in like Ed. What's his name from The Flash? Was Ed. No? Nothing? Okay. He was also in
Not ringing any bells.
the guy in the wheelchair from the future.
Oh, yeah.
He was Ed.
Okay.
That show. He was also in Mona Lisa Smile. He was the boyfriend.
I saw that a really long time ago.
That guy. Yep. He's always kind of a dick in everything he's in. Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. Like, I love this show.
Agent Carter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like her adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Everything always blows up around her.
yeah.
It's very like Alias.
It is. Oh man. And then the guy with the crutch, I can't say his name, but he was in Dollhouse. The agent guy.
Yes.
The one sympathetic agent guy.
Right.
Yeah.
He was
I can't say his name though. It's hard to say.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Inver Gojek or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was
I'm sure I'm saying it wrong because it's hard to say.
he was one of the dolls at the end that was actually
He was
aware.
Victor.
Yeah, he was Victor. That was aware.
Yes, he was one with the tech implanted. And he was with what was she?
Alpha?
No, Alpha was
Oh, he was with
the dude. She
the-
also has a hard to pronounce name.
And she's been on a lot of stuff.
She's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
She's the mom. Oh God, spoilers, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that they're like operating on. I'm sorry if I just spoiled that for someone.
But you don't know what mom.
I mean, how many moms are there? I did kind of spoil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
You've seen it though, right? I didn't
I
spoil
have,
it for
yeah.
you. Okay.
I was trying to explain it to Steve, who she was, and I was like, "Have you heard of?" And then I couldn't remember her name, so I had to go and look it up. And he's like, "No, who is that?" I'm
I
like,
can't remember what letter she was.
Daisy Johnson.
No. Not Daisy Johnson. In Dollhouse, that actress.
Oh, I can't remember either.
Echo was.
Echo, right? Alpha was
Alpha was
Wash.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, did you want us to stay on topic? This is how, okay, for those of you who are not on Team TARDIS back in the day, this is like basically how our chat room chats went every night.
Pretty
much.
much.
We've been recording an hour and 7 minutes. I don't even think I'm really going to have to edit very much. I mean, those of you watching are probably going to get really irritated with us, but...
We appreciate it if you're still watching. We hope that we're entertaining you.
We're definitely focusing more on the nerd side than the knitting side this time.
But we're knitting.
But we are knitting. Didn't have a lot of knitting recap, even though it's
'cause we're
been
both so
almost
busy.
2 weeks since we
We're
were
both like so busy that we don't actually have time to do real knitting stuff. And like I sat down and I picked this up last night for the first time.
You've gotten some progress since we started recording.
Yeah, I mean I probably had like 3 or 4 rows, and then I picked it up and last night I did like 2 rows, but now I'm like more than double that.
Yeah. See, we have to do this every week to just get our knitting time in.
Yeah, unfortunately she needs this by March, sometime in March. So
soon. Because you still have to do the duplicate stitch too afterwards.
yeah, I still need to go and buy the red.
Yeah.
Which is why I had to do the provisional cast on.
This is a pretty impressive provisional cast on though, guys. It looks really good. It's gonna be good when you pick it up.
I don't have any idea.
So
So
you can see where the stitches are. I mean, those are your stitches.
I know, like I like the only reason that I didn't use the crochet hook one, which looks so easy, was because I didn't want to get up off the couch.
So you did like the funky wrappy one?
Yeah, so I found a couple of them, and of course Knitty didn't have videos.
Yeah.
So I went and I just found one that had a video, that had a YouTube video, and I didn't like it. So I went and I looked at another one, and it was similar to how you would do a long tail cast on.
Mm-hmm. But with another strand of yarn. Like
where
a
you would
scrap yarn.
hold, right, where you would hold it, and you would, like...
Oh crap, I think I was supposed to increase. Sorry.
No, you're tinking back.
I already tinked back and knit with the right strand.
See, you're quick. It's definitely...
Now I'm tinking again because I think I was supposed to increase.
Oh. I can't remember which one was which, but like you wrap the yarn and then you wrap it around both. So I think the bottom yarn is the live yarn. So you wrap it around the bottom and then you wrap it around both, but you drop the top yarn as you're wrapping it. So it's actually
like
you're wrapping it
underneath.
around it.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean it looks really cool, and I got it done on the first try, and I was like, this looks gross, this looks really bad. I'm gonna knit and see how it turns out. So I just
But now
kept
that you've got
knitting.
some distance on it, you can see where you're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean I just kept going, and I'm pretty sure that I messed up a few and I dropped a few, so I'll just have to like add them. But I'm like,
I don't think it'll be too hard though, because you can see where they're supposed to be.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the end was. Like I definitely had missed a wrap like here, I think. I missed a wrap.
But you can probably just pull it through, because look at this. This is like your live stitch right here.
Yeah.
And that's your wrap.
I have 6 feet to figure out the problem.
This is true. This is true. I can't believe you're going to knit a 6-foot stockinette scarf.
So it's like,
And you've got some time before I have to give you your new charts.
well, I honestly, Oh. No, it would be on this end.
This one?
Yeah. I'll probably just have to duplicate it.
I thought that's what you were gonna do. Or were you gonna try to do Intarsia?
Yeah, that's why you were looking at the charts.
Oh, I thought you were gonna duplicate it.
I am going to duplicate it. I ended up casting on the correct amount of stitches.
Oh, it's gonna be really wide then. That is the correct amount of stitches?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I don't even need to do
It's
your
not
charts.
it's not as big as I thought it was going to be.
No, that's fine.
This is 100.
It's from an icon with air conditioning.
I can't remember now because the chart is like 49 stitches. So this is 100. This is 102. It's like 49 or 51 stitches, and there was one on each side. So I'm like,
That's fine.
yeah. And this
It's not
doesn't.
even that wide.
This didn't look like it was going to be as big because it wanted size 3 needles, and I
With
went
sport weight.
right, but I went up to size 8.
Yeah, that looks much easier to knit with.
And I'm like thinking, and it's only like 1.5 millimeters bigger, but I'm thinking it's gonna get humongous and whatever. And I'm looking and I'm like, this is actually not that bad,
No.
and it'll end up being,
That'll actually be a really good size for a scarf.
yeah, and then it'll just have to be sewn together.
Right. Or you could even, when you pick up your provisional stitches, you could do a 3-needle bind off at the end and you wouldn't have to sew together. It would just close the loop. 3-needle bind off! Multiple techniques in your new scarf.
Well, like, so I have to do the red for like 6 rows, and then, or 12 rows, blue for 6, red for 12, blue for 6, bind off. So there's like 2 rows of red on both ends of the scarf.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
do your 3-needle bind off at the end.
yeah, that'll probably end up.
It'll look really cool.
Well, I would probably,
Or you could do like an I-cord bind off.
what I was normally would do would be like a Kitchener.
Mm-hmm. That would work.
Yeah, that's normally what I would do to bind off. Because that's how I do my toes
Right.
and my hats
Mm-hmm.
and my gloves. Whatever else I need to do.
Hey, you, Kitchener. That's. I don't dislike Kitchener, but I know it's like a foreboding thing for a lot of people.
No, I actually like it. I'm weird. I like DPNs and I like Kitchener stitch.
What were we talking about? Real life. We
Real
already
life.
kind of did a lot of real life.
Well, so we have like really, really exciting news.
Yeah.
We turned in our foster adoption,
Yay!
our foster care license paperwork Thursday.
Got that done quick.
Well, I had it for like 2.5 weeks. I just finally got him to sign it.
It's a giant freaking stack of papers.
It would like, so it was, an initial assessment was 5 pages, and it was so much information. Like, they needed our birthdays and our social security numbers and any family living with us, which is none, and our finances and our jobs and our history, and do we have this or this or this or this or this. Like, it was crazy.
It's amazing how much information they require for you to foster or adopt and to become a natural parent. Nothing.
You need like nothing.
Irresponsibility.
Pretty much. But we got that done, and so that was the assessment, was 5 pages, and then there was 1 page was, they needed all of your addresses for the last like 5 years.
I don't understand why they need that.
Well,
crap.
that one was for the abuse. The abuse, to make sure that you don't have any, like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, that nobody has called you, you've never been arrested, you don't have any abuse history in your legal background.
Gotcha.
And then one is just, a form was to, basically, a release of information.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that shit's all done, we have to be assigned a caseworker. and then we have to clean our house and have them come out. Like, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done. We still have to be fingerprinted, and
You have to be fingerprinted? So ridiculous.
every 90 days they have to fingerprint you.
Yeah, because your fingerprints are going to change in 90
Okay, so
days.
this is like our biggest problem, right? They say they don't keep them on file. So they have to have you go get fingerprinted every 90 days. And so Steve is like, can't you just fingerprint me and then put it on a thumb drive and I'll just bring it back to you? Because it's like $50 or $36 every time per person, every time we get this done. So
That's ridiculous.
I know, and we can only get it done at the agency. You can't go to like Kinko's and get it done there, even though nobody uses ink these days.
No.
Like, I just had to get it done for work, and
Then you can't use those fingerprints?
no, like they came to work and they fingerprinted us and they had us fill out all the paperwork at work, and it was done. It's completely
Wow, that is ridiculous.
nuts. But
There's no reason why they can't keep your fingerprints on file. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're not going to change. You, as a person, are not going to change.
I can understand running them every 90 days.
Yeah.
In case something happens, like if you know, something can come up. You can get you can get arrested, you can get a ticket, you can get whatever.
Sure.
I can understand that part, but I really don't know why.
And why does it cost money to do it?
I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure the machine doesn't change. Like, you don't have to charge me for the machine every time. It's the same one
Right.
that scans my
There's
fingers.
no ink.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it might be different because the agencies have changed, but I don't have any idea. But I requested a person that lives in South Miami, because the first time we tried to do this foster thing, she lived in like North Miami, and it was really hard for her to meet on weekends. Like, I have to meet you on the weekend. You can't really come over during the week. I'm not there. I kind of work on South Beach. It takes an hour and a half to get home. So, man, my lips are super chapped. But, yeah, so we got that turned in. And that's all I know.
What?
And then tomorrow we're going to, or I'm going, I don't know. He hasn't said yes or no yet. I'm going to a brand new, like an advocacy group. They're starting, and it's like brainstorming and trying to come up with who you know, like what politicians everybody knows, so that we can actually do like more grassroots campaigns for like whatever needs to
Making
be
it
made.
not so hard.
Right, like whatever needs to be made into a bill, rather than just going to Tallahassee when it's that time, like starting the other 10, 11 months of the year. So that tomorrow's our first meeting, and it's all my friends,
That's cool.
which means that I'm actually friends with like really important people in the adoption world. And they're the ones that's going to actually help me get a kid, because the system sucks otherwise.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's so hard.
Well, and I was hearing...
And it's so sad because there's so many children who need a home.
So, last summer, there was an article in the Herald. It was like a series of articles that in the last X number of years, there have been like 477 kids that have died in Florida alone. And it's been all sorts, like a good chunk of them made the news and were like national stories, and then there was some that nobody knew about, like just nobody knew about. Parents never were prosecuted, nothing ever happened. Could have happened, an accident, whatever, but because they were in care, all this other crazy crap happened. So, and it was kind of like all of Florida. It wasn't just Miami. Miami just sucks the most. So they did like major changes in Miami to the system, and
No, it's just impossible.
It's horrible. Like, everybody that we knew when we got started, they're down to like 3 people that I now know. Everybody has quit or resigned or just moved on
And how
because
sad is that? I mean, not just for the kids, but the parents too. I mean, these
Yeah.
people are never going to have children now because it's just too hard.
And like, it really kills me because just watching all of my friends go through this, which is one of the biggest reasons why we kept putting it off, is watching all of our friends who are foster parents just get like bombarded and like completely like trashed in court. That, oh, this is all they want, they just want this, they only want my kid, blah blah blah. Like, the courts pander to the parents.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be looking out for the best interest of the children. Well, look, I said I wasn't going to get political.
No, I agree.
And it's just
the law is way too forgiving of bad parents.
it's so horrible. Like, they give parents chances, like chance after chance after chance after chance, and these kids, if they ever get placed back in their homes, they end up back in care.
Yeah. So heartbreaking. No, my mom was a court-appointed special advocate at CASA for a really long time.
I had thought about doing that
And,
in all my free time.
yeah, right? And she saw so many bad situations that, like, you know, the CASA's there to advise the court what would be best, you know, for the kid. And there were just so many situations where her advice was just ignored. Like, you know, this is not a good situation for the kid. The kid needs to be...
Was she a guardian ad litem? Or she was... Because CASA runs the guardian ad litem program.
Yeah. No, she didn't do that. It was when we were still in high school.
Because we actually have friends of ours who are going to be part of this
Mhm.
group, and they are both guardian ad litems, and they both have their own caseloads, and it is just
Hard.
so hard.
It's another
Like,
job.
They come, I mean, they homeschool their kids, so they don't
Mhm.
have to, you know, they're both older, they're both like retired.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is basically their full-time job,
Right.
but it's completely voluntary.
Yeah.
And they have, like, it's amazing. I was telling this girl yesterday, I'm like, these people that I've met in the last, like, year and a half have the biggest hearts.
Mhm.
Look, I'm going to start crying again. They have just, like, the biggest hearts, and they're just such amazing people, and nobody cares.
I know, and you just get beaten down over and over again. And
It's
so bad.
so horrible. Like, all the friends that I have that were foster parents, they're like, no, we're done. We're closing our houses. Like, we just can't handle this anymore. You know, even ones that have adopted, they're like, well, we were keeping it open as foster homes, but no, can't handle it anymore. Like,
I
and
can't even
that's-
imagine how heartbreaking that must be, just over and over again, over.
And that's one of the biggest reasons why we kept putting it off.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
But if that's the only way you're going to get a child into your home, I mean,
yeah.
what other option do you have?
And there's this little 3-year-old that we still haven't met, but they want her, if everything goes according to what everyone thinks, you know, and the judge terminates her mother's parental rights, I think like the 15th or something, he wants her placed into a pre-adoptive home. Well, that includes a foster license, and we
Yeah.
don't have that.
Right.
I mean, we possibly could get her placed with us and just wouldn't get any of the benefits that goes along with it. Like, she would still have her Medicaid, which is obviously the most important thing, but we wouldn't really have the benefits of being foster parents. We would just be a non-relative placement.
Okay.
So we wouldn't have, like, as many rights,
Sure.
which is
Which
so
worse.
stupid. Like, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
She's in a home right now that she's been in for, like, a couple of years. And the woman is just, you know, she only wants to foster. She doesn't want to adopt, which is great. But because of the situation, they want
A
her.
pre-adoptive home. Yeah.
They want her in a home where she can start, you
Yeah.
know, building
she's
that
3,
relationship.
So it's she's at an age where she can still make those
Right.
bonds, and
Right.
foster isn't the best place for that.
Well, I mean, at least she's been with the same person for the whole time.
Right.
So she's got that, and that'll have, like, good memories for, like, down the road. But
I can't even imagine how hard that is for the kids.
I mean, like, you have to, I'm on all of these Facebook groups for, you know, adoption and infertility and all sorts of stuff, and just like the domestic adoption ones, they make me crazy, because I'm like, you're buying a child.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of people that have like a lot of different, you know, trains of thought on that one, but to me, like, we're doing foster care because it's essentially free and the child is already alive.
Yeah.
Like, the child's in foster care and is having all sorts of problems, and, you know, through their fault or not their fault or whatever, like,
Yeah.
it's essentially free because you have to go through so much crap. And, you know, yeah, we don't want a baby though.
No.
Like, we don't
Well,
want
and then
anything.
from day one, you were saying you wanted siblings.
Yeah, and then we realized that we're gonna have a hard enough time with one, that we've talked about it in the last couple of weeks. Down the road, we might do this again
Mm-hmm.
and get another one, single. But I mean, for right now, we're basically like, we just want one child.
Well, I mean, how long have you been trying for this one? 18 months, right?
We decided we would do adoption just shy of 2 years ago.
And you've been through so much since
I mean,
then.
I've learned so much about this whole thing, like, and I mean,
Well, it's very overwhelming at first to try to figure out what it is you're supposed to be doing.
right, but it's so interesting because I know that just by blogging about it and just by posting about it, like, I have actually educated so many of my friends that had no clue, like, how this whole thing works.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I guess.
I mean, I've learned a lot about it from you.
Yeah.
And just
And just, like, not all adoption is the same. Like, there's infant adoption. There's, you can actually adopt embryos. Like, you can adopt. I don't even know. Like, I just saw somebody about that today on one of these
adopt
groups.
embryos.
Yeah, like, if you can't. I don't know if it's part of surrogacy or what, but.
Because that sounds a lot more deliberate than just, you know, adopting a child. That was like, I mean, planned, I guess,
Right.
on the part of the bio parents.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
So it feels like more of
But
surrogacy.
and
to me.
because the one that she had, this one girl was like, oh yeah, and the last of our embryos didn't survive the thaw. So I'm like,
Okay.
I don't like, I have problems with that.
Well, I mean,
But that's me.
for
like,
everyone, yeah.
Right.
But that does seem more on the like IVF spectrum than on the adoption spectrum.
Right. But it's just interesting that you have to adopt the full. I don't even know why it's called adopting, but
Yeah.
the full embryo, like I don't, like, I guess I don't know what the situation would lead to, that you would have to get both already as a
As an embryo.
zygote embryo. Yeah, embryo.
Mm.
That's something that
I would think that if you had
Yes,
embryos frozen, though, that like you would have plans for that. Anyway, I don't understand the situation either. But that kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet.
This was totally a fiber podcast, we swear.
I guess we kind of asked for it when we included a real life segment.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I still have work to do. It's almost 9 o'clock.
I have to go find my husband to go find dinner.
Yeah, you guys should probably eat. And we've been recording for an hour and a half, so we're gonna do this again next week. It's pretty exciting.
In person.
In person, which means I have to actually post this
So
soon.
what's so interesting is the hotel that she will be staying at is by the old Miami Herald building. And for any of you Burn Notice fans, and the season finale when they blew up the building, that was the old Miami Herald building. And she'll be staying like really close to it.
I don't watch Burn Notice, so that's lost on me.
Well, I know it's actually kind of funny. Like, we started watching it several seasons into it because it was filmed here,
Mm-hmm.
and then when he found out what it was about, plus Bruce Campbell was in it,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Why have we not watched this the whole time?" So it was really interesting. And I think for the finale, actually, my friends used to have a food truck,
Mm-hmm.
and they were selected as like one of whatever to actually feed the cast and crew.
Oh, like craft services.
Yeah.
Nice.
So like they had a little they had like all these pictures that they posted on their Facebook of when they got to go and meet the cast, and one of the guys was like, "I don't care about the cast, just find me Bruce Campbell."
Yeah.
So that was really neat. But I mean, every time that I would watch an episode, I'd be like, okay, what part of Miami is this in? And can I figure it out? And it turns out that one of my coworkers said that they filmed in her neighborhood all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, oh well, I guess I was in the wrong part of Miami.
Yeah.
Like, there were some obvious ones, like when they were down at Turkey Point at the nuclear power plant. Like, obviously, there's only one of those in Miami. They could not be at any other place. But, whatever.
That's cool, though.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff filmed here.
Really?
So much stuff. So, a couple of the, like, Bad Boys, both of them were filmed here.
Mm-hmm.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, a long, long time ago, with Jamie Lee Curtis. And Eliza Dushku. True Lies was filmed here. That was when they blew up the 7 Mile Bridge to the Keys because they had built a new one, and so they were using it. They blew it up. And
I never saw
at
that.
least one Fast and the Furious was filmed here. I think there was 2 filmed here.
I believe that.
So
Here it goes. Oh! No, we didn't catch on fire.
Dexter was filmed here also.
That I believe. Yep, with all of the going out into the ocean. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? What is that show? It's like TBS or TNT or something. I think it's Take Place in Miami.
There's a lot, like, there's a way on IMDb to look up, like, where things are filmed, and Miami is, like, one of the top destinations, which is so weird. Like, I guess it's just, there's such a variety of, I sound like I like Miami, don't I? It's, like, such a huge variety of, like, locations here.
Yeah. It's an interesting town.
And you've really only seen South Beach.
Yeah.
Next week, you get to see a whole different part of the city. You'll be by the Miami Heat Arena.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Biscayne Bay. Did I say it right?
Biscayne Bay.
Biscayne Bay. Yeah. Well, I guess they did a Ritz at Key Biscayne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Key Biscayne is like, I don't even know how to describe it. I had a boyfriend that lived over there, and it's like $1 to go across the causeway, and it's like super, super, super wealthy.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's like one of the most expensive Ritz-Carltons in the country, but they have like the worst network.
I believe it.
And like
It is Miami after all.
terrible wiring. So like their workstations would just suddenly shut off because they lost power because the electricity was so unstable over there. It's like, you're gonna fry your workstations and you're gonna be SOL.
Was it this?
I had network issues at this place too. We had all kinds of problems here.
I can't remember if it was this week or last week that like there were actually 2 bikers that got killed on the causeway, and it was on Key Biscayne. Like, they could have been prevented, but I remember thinking, wow, that's really close to where I am. How is it going to fuck up my traffic today?
Yeah, we definitely just lost our iTunes rating. We're throwing around F-bombs now.
Sorry.
I'm just surprised I wasn't the first one to say it. And on that bombshell, good night.
Good night. See you next week, also from Miami.
Bye.